Hello, I'm Coach Frank Allocco, and today I'd like to speak to you about intense emotions and loving opportunities. Earlier this week, my mother informed me of the serious illness of the mother of one of my dear childhood friends. I quickly called him and we connected for some precious moments before he was to drive her home from the hospital and into subsequent hospice care. Lifelong friends, we commiserated about the swift passage of time and our own hasty transition from children to adulthood and now to senior citizen status. After detailing his mother's declining condition and his own mental preparation, which now was more important than ever, I told him of my preparatory thoughts as I saw my own father's days slowly slipping away. I shared my intense anticipation of the incomparable sadness and emotion that I knew I was going to feel. But beneath that sadness, I took solace that this moment of unparalleled sorrow would also bring a greater flood of love and solace that I had ever experienced before. I desperately wanted to be there to hold my father's hand and let him know how cherished he was. I wanted to see and feel his inner peace as he felt the touch and the blanketing warmth of his family. As my friend spoke deeper of the time that he and his siblings were spending with their mother, he mentioned his desire to be there and the fear and anxiety he felt upon anticipating that dreaded final phone call. In my attempt to provide assurance and guidance, I shared the lessons that I had learned from Father Robert Griffin, a cherished priest, a beloved counselor, and inspirational writer at Notre Dame. Griff had the wisdom of a timeless sage, and his insightful words touched thousands through his books, his weekly columns in the school newspaper, and his essays in Notre Dame magazine. He tirelessly imparted his love, faith, and kindness to thousands of young children of faculty and staff who attended his Urchins Mass and listened to his radio show. He also provided knowledge, compassion, and support to the blossoming young adults who surrounded him and looked up to him as a guiding beacon during the confusing, formative transition from adolescence to adulthood. In addition to his many duties as a Catholic priest, Father Griffin volunteered to assist his friend, a Holy Cross brother, whose ministry was to provide the sacraments to the elderly and to assist them in their final journey. After multiple trips to nursing homes, Father Griffin was startled to see the amazing differences in their work. His ministry was vibrant and exciting. He was supporting young people through their confusion and preparing them for the countless challenges waiting for them as they began the story of their adulthood. In contrast, his friend's ministry dealt with endings, not beginnings. His commitment was to prepare them mentally, physically, and spiritually as he guided them to depart their loved ones in peace. But as the days passed by, Father Griffin quickly realized that sharing time with the elderly is a gift. He thought of the loneliness of a great-grandmother and the excitement she feels as a visitor draws near. He thought of a grandfather lying in bed, waiting for the caregiver to provide him with his nightly medication. He remembered the wrinkled faces and the broad smiles of appreciation that would light up a room when a loved one would visit. His experience, faith, and devotion led him to believe that the last person a dying person sees is the face of Christ. And in each kindness we extend, we become closer to him as we become the living instrument of his sacrifice, love, and compassion. The lesson Father Griffin learned and subsequently taught is that we are never off duty in our service to others. We must recognize, seize, and cherish the opportunities, whether it's to assist a treasured mother or father in their final days, to extend kindness to a neighbor, to feel compassion for those in need, or to inspire the next generation of children to live a life of faith, hope, and service to others. My friend and I ended our conversation that day in total agreement that the sadness of the departure of a loved one is truly overwhelming, but it's made easier by the knowledge that you did your best to provide love, support, and kindness at a time when you were needed the most. We are all in this together, and we truly move closer to divine perfection as we adhere to the principles of our own faith and beliefs, as we become the ministers of love and peace to all that we are blessed to serve. Keep listening, keep learning, and strive to be your best. And remember, excellence doesn't take days off.